Hi, I would like to help you get started on page 13 of your notebook. This is the bridge activity that we're going to do. Now remember, the very first thing that you need to do is you need to, over here on the left, you need to click on the slide, right click, click copy, and then you're going to add it to your notebook's page 13. So in order to be able to edit, you need to put it in your notebook, the one that you set up earlier this year. Okay, so now that you have done that, pause if you need more time. Now we will get started on this bridge activity. So our goal today is that, and you can find this on my overview page, I can experiment to find a linear relationship. So I can experiment to find a linear relationship. That is what you're going to type here where it says goal. Okay, so you'll type that in. And then you will be able to go down through here to get the steps. So down here in the speaker notes, click on the link at the top to go to the virtual bridge experiment. So when you click on that, it's going to take you to here, and you will be able to do this from your computer. Now, the very first thing I want you to do, and you will see this on the speaker notes, is for the length, I want everyone to set the length to 10 inches. Okay, so we're going to do this at 10 inches. Now, if you are wanting yours to be a little different and you want to explore, feel free to try a different one. 8 inches, whatever you want. Don't make it so small that this isn't going to work. Like, that wouldn't make any sense. So make sure you have it a little spread out. But we're going to do 10 inches for this. And then once you've adjusted the length, this doesn't move for the rest of the activity. Okay? So now, and you want the thickness to be at 1. So once you get it here, you have this set up and you're ready for the experiment. Okay? Going back to page 13, number 3 says to choose a length for the bridge. Here, let me hide this here. And it will stay the same for the whole experiment. So again, I use 10. So now you're going to run an experiment so you can see how many pennies it takes to break the bridge at different thicknesses. Okay, so again, what that means is you're going to be adding pennies, and then at some point, the bridge is going to collapse. And so this would say that it took 3 pennies when you had the thickness of 1. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about what that means for your independent variable, your x value, and your y value, which is your dependent variable. Notice that the amount of pennies it takes to break depends on the thickness of the paper, okay, or the thickness of the bridge. And so your independent variable, that's going to be your bridge thickness. And then your dependent variable is how many pennies it takes to break the bridge. Because again, the amount of pennies it's going to take to break the bridge depends on how thick this is. If I have this here at 6 units, it's going to take, I'm going to add 10 pennies at a time to get it to break faster. Somewhere between 20 and 30 pennies, the bridge is going to collapse. And so that's a lot different than what we did when the thickness was just 1. So the amount of pennies it takes depends on the thickness of the bridge. So your independent variable is thickness, your y will be amount of pennies, okay? Next, you're going to record your results in the table. So you're going to go through this and think about what happens at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 thicknesses, okay? And then you will record your data here. Your data may be different than my data. This is a virtual experiment, but it's not always the same for every person. So I'm going to reset it. And again, if I'm going to add a penny, this time it's a thickness 1. See, even this time it's different than it was last time. So 5 is the amount of pennies it took. So I would put a 5 right there. And then I would do the same thing with 2. And I would reset it, make sure my thickness is 2, and then I will add pennies. And then looks like next time we'll be able, oh, maybe not. So that one took 8. So then I would put an 8 here. Okay, so then again, yours may be different than mine. Mine was even different the 2 different times I've done it during this video. But now you have a start, And once you have this whole thing completed, then you will make a graph. Now, you have a couple different choices for graph, and you will see that I wrote those down here. The graph will be tricky. Like, who in the world would want to plot points on that graph? That would be a nightmare on Google Slides. So you have two choices. You can either use Desmos.com. So Desmos.com. It's just a graphing calculator, so you can push that, and then you can add a table. So you know your x's will be 1 through 5, and then you will complete what you got from the bridge experiment. So I know that one was a 3. Sorry about that. And that one's an 8, and then you would continue. Well, you'll notice as you graph these points, it's plotting them on this paper, and I'm just pinch zooming in and out so you can see where they're at. And then if you click on the graph, you can move. So this is me holding down the mouse pad and just moving it so you can see the different places that it goes. Okay, so you can adjust the window like that. You can get this whole thing done, and then you will just snip it or take a screenshot of your graph, and then you can paste it. You just delete this graph, and then you can paste your picture right there. Or if you're like, whoa, that's way too much for me, the other thing you can do is you can do it on paper, and then we'll pretend my past sheet here is my graph. And then if you go to insert image from camera, and then it'll have a choice for you, and you can just stick your graph in front of your camera like this, and then take a picture of it, and it will put it right there, and then you can adjust where it's at. Okay, then you will go through and you will answer the rest of these questions based on the information that you have here. So please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be here to answer them. Thank you.